Comrade Sebastian Michael Cruz here. Today's topic is genius talent number 10. So, if you have genius talent number 10 in your genius path, then I'm going to give you a brief intro about what that means for you. And if you haven't gotten your free Genius Path report, get it, decodeyourgenius.com. Okay, so let's start off with the green rectangle on the right hand side. So, having this in your genius path means that you're here to develop the genius talents of discernment, masculine and feminine balance, as well as spiritual wisdom. So when we see this shining through, this is someone who's very discerning, almost from a neutral position. And that makes them great leaders, great decision makers, because they're considering both sides and then not getting pulled in either way emotionally and being discerning. And the discernment can only come once there is the optimal masculine feminine balance. So each person has their own ratio of what's optimal for them. So some people are going to have a more feminine optimal balance. Some people are going to have a more masculine optimal balance. It's different on each person. So, however, though, each person has the optimal balance for themselves, and that includes both sides of the spectrum. And that's where the discernment comes from, because it's being able to have the masculine style and have the feminine style, and then merge and blend them to arrive at the right decision. And not merge and blend to create lukewarmness. No. Merge and blend to consider both styles and then use the right amount of each to make the right decision. Okay. And that is a deeper level into spiritual wisdom. Okay. So this doesn't mean you need to be a guru or anything like that, but it means that you have a full rounded education as well as integration of the practical, tactical world and the expansive, metaphysical, spiritual world. And there's many different pathways to arrive at that wisdom, however, it's finding the one that fits you. So let's take a look at what's in the way of this, because the resistance pattern is the opposite. It's being judgmental, it's overthinking, it's perfectionism, unbalanced masculine and feminine energy. And it's also a denial of spiritual wisdom, okay? So I'll speak to experience on this. So I got 10. And so early on in my career, I was like, okay, the spiritual stuff looks interesting, but I'll study that once I'm super rich. And once I get that rich, I want to get more rich and more rich and more rich and more rich. And then, once I'm the richest person in the world, then yeah, let's go take a look at that. That's the resistance pattern. And in entrepreneurship, shit's gonna happen. Okay. So we can be riding high, which, I was in the early on. But if we don't have a full-rounded education and integration, then it's very risky business. It's very risky business, because if you don't have a full-rounded education, integration of the quote-unquote real world and the expansive spiritual world, then you're just waiting for the day when everything comes crashing down. And that's what happens to a lot of entrepreneurs. It happened to me as well. Is we're riding high with a half education, half integration, and then the rug gets pulled out, everything gets pulled away, and then you don't have anything left. And that's the opportunity when people go deeper into the spiritual and start bridging the gap. Okay, so you don't have to wait. You might have had your fall already, and if you haven't, take this. Take this as take this as a fucking sign, man, to get dialed in to that now, so you don't have to go through the fall. So the resistance pattern is the opposite of, it's very close to discernment, but it's judgmental. It's saying, okay, people are less than the person, and it's overthinking and it's perfectionism to the wrong point. Okay. So with this one, we can see the 10 in Steve Jobs' journey, and we can see both the genius talent and the resistance pattern. His level of perfectionism and product creation and discernment was so incredible. And he also was on a spiritual journey early on in his career, in his college days, and continued all the way through. As well as the resistance pattern, as you see the sharpness, the judgmental things that created so much problems in his career with the people that he worked with. Okay, so out of the different strategies, one of them that I'll share in this brief intro is to just get clear on what's your relationship right now with the real world and also the spiritual world. And this is the This is the sign to start investing more time into the spiritual world, whatever pathway that is to you. There's many different pathways, whichever one resonates with you, but start balancing your education and integration with both the quote unquote real world and the spiritual world. Okay. And that's what I've got for you in this video. So if you haven't gotten your free Genius Path report, go get it, decodeyourgenius.com. My name is Sebastian Michael Cruz, and I'll see you in the next video.